I want you to take a moment and think about this. There is data all around you in the air, invisible, going in and out of your mobile devices, your phones, your iPads, everything. And before that, there were, of course, antennas. I don't know how many people actually have antennas anymore with their television. Most televisions now, I believe, are digital. But back when I was younger, they had antennas. And you would pick up on TV signals and radio signals. The reason why I'm talking about this, the reason why I've gotten into this is because I want to talk to you today about something I've kind of touched on before. But I wanted to be more specific, and I wanted to talk a little bit about perhaps how you might be able to tune in to spirit beings in the same way that I do. And this is without leaving your body, or when I go beyond body, not like that. I'm talking about being in your body, lying down, quieting your thoughts, listening, and tuning in to spirit beings. Now, there's a lot of things that are out there. I mean, I talked about TV signals, radio signals. I talked about the data that goes in and out of our phones. But there is so much more all around us all the time. And we don't realize it. We don't, because we can't see it. But I have to tell you, I truly began to realize this during my time in the hospital after my accident. That's when I began to see things when I would close my eyes when I was tired. And of course, in the beginning, I thought it had something to do with the drugs that they were giving me. Even though when I would see these things, I wasn't necessarily on any kind of painkiller in that moment. Still, I thought maybe it was having some sort of effect on me. And when I got home and I was off those drugs, those painkillers, and I continued to see these things when I was tired, when I would shut my eyes, I realized that this was not some drug-induced delusion. This was happening. And somehow I was picking up on these things, seeing things when I would close my eyes, and hearing things as well. Signals that are in the air, signals that spirit beings, I suppose, are broadcasting in the same way that television signals and radio signals are broadcast. And it's so interesting. Being able to pick up on these things has been fascinating to me. One of the things that I've talked to you about, and I've talked to you previously about, was in an episode where I spoke about someone that had been in the Navy. I believe this person had passed away. I was in my office and I had heard this being talk about the fact that he had wished that they had honored him before he passed, that they had officially honored him, that the Navy didn't, I guess. That wasn't like a voice that I heard. That was just, I don't know, it was some other form of communication as far as I was concerned. But it wasn't like there was a voice saying it, and there was a voice. But there have been times where I've actually heard voices. In fact, when I'm really tired, either when I'm going to bed or if I get up and I lie down, especially if I get up in the middle of the night and I lie down, I can hear voices clear as day at times just speaking. And it is as if all these voices are kind of out there like the data. And sometimes I'll pick up a piece here and there, a sentence, a few words. Interesting, this morning, when I heard this, I honestly, I didn't think I was going to talk about it. Because, well, for those of you who have listened to previous videos, you know I'm really shy and I don't talk about certain things because I don't feel quite comfortable talking about them. And when I heard this particular thing this morning, I didn't know what it was. I normally, when I hear something, a disembodied voice, if you will, I will repeat it and say it. And when I repeat it and I say it out loud, it's as if I'm making it real, like I heard this. I heard a voice talk about the fact that they had been in a movie called The Cabana Boys. I just heard this. They said they were in The Cabana Boys. Now, when I Googled The Cabana Boys, I discovered that it was hardcore porn. And in fact, it was hardcore gay porn. I have never in my life heard of this movie, but in the middle of the night, when I heard those words, I repeated them out loud. And again, I eventually Googled it, and yeah, there is actually a movie called Cabana Boys. And I'm not sure who is connected. I saw the names of actors that I'm not going to say, and I'm not going to really get into whatever the plot line of this pornographic film was. I don't think it's really relevant. I just know I heard that. Someone wanted me to know that. I repeated it, I said it. And I have to tell you, for spirit beings, that may be exactly what they want. And the reason is because they just simply want to be acknowledged in the 3D world. Certainly they walk around for goodness knows how much time, hundreds, maybe thousands of years, trying to communicate with people, and nobody acknowledges them. Nobody says anything to them. It's as if they are no longer of any substance, as if they no longer exist, and they do. They continue to exist. So when I repeat what they say, I am acknowledging that I heard them and hoping that this helps or assists them in some way. Now let's take a moment to talk about some things that you might be able to do to be able to communicate with spirit beings if that is what you wish to do. Now, one of the things I do nowadays, before hearing these things, and sometimes when I hear the voice, I will speak, and I believe at times there is eventually a response, but again, I hear little snippets here and there, pieces kind of disjointed here and there. I lie down in silence. Sometimes I'll have on, well, most times I'll have on storm sounds, but there have been times when I've just laid down and I've been in silence and I simply listen. That is what I do. I just listen. I listen to the universe. I really just open myself up. And I believe that's what you have to do if you want to be able to hear as well. I mean, well, it goes without saying that meditation, things like that, can definitely assist you to quiet your thoughts. The thoughts, the worries that you have over the day, things of that nature, that will obviously drown out possibly things that are going on out there. But if you can quiet those things down, and if you can really sit and listen, you can hear. Perhaps to even speak with your guides, although I have to tell you, when I've spoken to my guides, I've been already definitely into a higher vibrational frequency at that point. The vibrations have come and I can feel them, and I'm able to communicate at that point. So that's when I've been able to communicate with my guides. But who knows? At some point I may develop the ability to be able to reach out to them without going into that state and just lying down and listening. And I am certain that there are people listening to the sound of my voice right now that can do this anyway, that can reach out to their guides and speak to them. I wanted to put out a special kind of acknowledgement or a shout out to the people who channel and speak to spirit beings on the other side. I have to tell you, I've had a few brushes here and there with that in the last few years, since I've begun to discover all of these other talents that I have. And channeling and doing that sort of thing, I have to be honest, is not a very comfortable thing for me. But for those of you who are able to do it, I tip my hat to you. I think it's amazing that you can do that. It's not something I necessarily enjoy doing. I don't mind listening. In fact, I love listening and I love communicating, but channeling, not really for me. Anyway, I think I've pretty much covered what I wanted to in this episode. As I'll always say, the spirit beings out there are just like us. It's just that they don't have a body. So listening to them, communicating with them, I think is a good thing. Acknowledging them, because that is really what they want. Anyway, thank you so much for coming on another journey with me. And until next time, take care.